Hey crew, I'm so thankful for how many of you were able to prioritize our time together at our last leaders gathering. And I'm already looking forward to our next one, which will be on Zoom on March 19th at 8:15 p.m. On Zoom, March 19th at 8:15 p.m. Stay tuned for a link coming your way soon. But hey, I wanted to just take a few minutes and share briefly about a key follow-up from our meeting that we had just the other day. We talked about kind of some bottleneck issues, like, hey, what are things that are hindering us from growing as the Lord continues to grow our church? And one of the things that came out of that, there were several, but one of the things was a clear pathway for leader recruitment. And so I was mindful of this since we talked and have been thinking about it and praying about it, and just saw a great example of the need for a clear pathway for leader recruitment just the other day. I was sitting in a college worship gathering on Sunday night, and it was incredible. The Spirit of the Lord was in that place and moving among us, and it was rich and vibrant. And I began to see certain college students just take bold steps of faith in prayer or in confession, or just, you could just tell they were really engaging the Lord. And so I talked to some of our college leaders today, and I said, hey, is anyone talking to that student, just one that stuck out to me in that gathering, about stepping into leadership? And like, oh man, I was totally thinking about it. And how does that come about? Well, first, I think what we do as leaders is we're constantly scanning for who's beginning to prioritize their life around saying yes to Jesus. So if you're leading a house church right now, just be thinking, hey, who do I see in my house church right now that seems to be really prioritizing saying yes to Jesus? When we think leadership, you don't need to think cool, extroverted Christian. You need to think disciple of Jesus. And what we're trying to do is help them become a multiplying disciple maker. So really, all we're looking for is someone who is regularly saying yes to Jesus. That we can then come alongside of and train them and equip them in helping other people say yes to Jesus. So when you think leadership, again, don't think cool, extroverted Christian. Think faithful disciple. Who is someone that is beginning to bend their life towards saying yes to Jesus? And then I would do this. I would either have a brief moment, or like, hey, can we get together and talk? I just want to share some things that I've been praying about specifically for you. Or I might do a brief moment. This might be before house church or after house church. I might pull them aside after house church and say, hey, can I just tell you something that I see in you? That phrase, I see this in you, is a huge phrase of casting vision for someone's life. And so let's just say you find someone in your group that you see as prioritizing their life around saying yes to Jesus. You might pull them aside after house church and say this. I'll just use Ashley as an example. Hey, Ashley, I just see God growing you in really incredible ways, and I'm deeply encouraged by what God is doing in your life. Jesus would call that a disciple, and we love that. We celebrate that your life is being marked by a growth in obedience to Jesus. I would love to help you continue to grow in that, but also, man, I would love to see you help other people say yes to Jesus. In fact, I already see you doing that in this way and in this way. Um, I would love to invite you into our leadership community at our church so that you can become more equipped as a disciple maker. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about that, but I just want to say I see that in you. And would you be interested in learning more about being a multiplying disciple maker in our church's context, perhaps even as a house church leader? So it just begins as simple as that. I don't want to flesh out like, hey, here's next steps from that or anything like that. But what I would like you to begin praying about right now is who might be that in your kind of ministry area, in your house church. Um, who do you see right now that is prioritizing multiplying disciples of Jesus that you could invite into our leadership community? And then here's my specific ask. Our next in-person leadership gathering is going to be on April 30th. It's going to be on Sunday, April 30th at 5 p.m. And stay tuned on where. But we're going to use that gathering as our next leadership invite. So I'm asking for you to pray about who might God be asking you to invite into our leadership community, and then asking them to join us on Sunday, April 30th at 5 p.m. That's going to be a big invite moment for us as we're asking God to raise up laborers that are going to join us in the harvest. So that's just briefly a snapshot of how I would make a leadership ask. And I'm asking you to pray about who you might invite into our leadership community to join us on April 30th at 5 p.m. Let me know if you have any questions. Praying for you guys often and so grateful for you.